Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of What's in Your Earbuds. And today we have an amazing friend of the Run Tribe bike community. We are bringing you the Lucid Music Revolution this time with our Adam Ture. Joe and I are excited to have him on. Welcome to the show, Adam.
What's up, gentlemen? Thanks for having me on.
And
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Adam.
we were
Absolutely.
talking in the green room about how you've had this marked on your show for a while, have this show marked for a while, and I was looking at the Everyday Athlete playlist, and I noticed one of the things off the bat was that the first two songs you submitted are both Nirvana songs. Tell me about that.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm a total grunge head. I mean, I have every combination of flannel in my closet. Uh, I remember, I've been a Nirvana fan like since junior high, I think middle school. Still am. I thought it would wear off, but it's still that Nirvana still hits. Just a huge grunge fan in general. Alice in Chains. Um, Pearl Jam, all the old '90s grunge rock bands. So yeah, that's my sweet spot right there.
Yeah, I'm with you, Adam. Like, I think we talked about this the last time we had a chance to talk. It's like I'm still kind of clutching onto my flannel too. And you were kind of touching on Alice in Chains. Have you
Right.
ever went back and listened to any of Mad Season?
No, I have. It's been a
Oh,
but
yeah. Do yourself a huge favor. Like, it was just like some like side album that Lane Staley did, and
yeah,
it's just like it's like everything that you want Alice in Chains to be like condensed into like this like short like EP. It's like it's so amazing. So
yeah.
do your ears a favor and dig into that, and let me know how it treats you because it's really really
Okay.
good.
No, I appreciate that. I'm always looking for music, recommendations. I don't know if you guys ever get burnout from your playlist, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and some of the biggest music fans I know are endurance athletes, right? We just kind of like we train so long, we kind of need something in our earbuds. So you know, just constantly getting good at my from my athletes and other coaches. So it's pretty cool.
Mr. Music Guy says, "Have you ever added West End Girls from the Pet Shop Boys?"
It's on there, and you're about to get 4 hours of it here soon. I think it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if I haven't listened to that song more than once on the playlist, and if I haven't been hit with "Life Is a Highway" enough times,
Uh, I
um,
forgot how good that song was, though. Like, well, all those songs, "Life Is a Highway," and when I first was putting together that playlist, I put West End Girls on there, and yeah, it's a total vibe. And yeah, West End Girls is such a good song, and I can't wait to treat Jason with 4 to 5 hours of it here soon.
it's a just 4 to 5 hours. So, Adam, I'm gonna start with you, and this is usually how we start the conversation. But I want to ask you recently, as somebody who is a collector of music, what's been in your earbuds recently?
Good call. Good call. So I just want to preface that by saying I did my homework. I'm
Oh man.
Nice.
a professional. I came prepared. But since you asked me what's in my earbuds lately, I want to put something in front of you guys. So there's two bands. I know you guys are metalheads, right? I've heard that before.
Are
Um,
those balloons?
Shout outs here. It's good. Um,
I love
have
it.
of the called Clock Cleaner.
Clock
Ooh.
Cleaner.
Okay, they're out of Philly. All right, they're described as, and I didn't use this words, but it's accurate. Sinister noise punk band. Okay,
Oh, all
Oh,
so
right.
it's a little slower. So I wrote, the songs are slow and powerful, good for when you go into dark places.
Oh,
Uh, on, or for me, on the bike trainer, I go to dark places on the bike trainer, um, especially on hard intervals, right? As death. Clock Cleaner, highly recommend them.
Clock
That,
Cleaner.
that's number one. Number two, Cloakroom. You ever heard of Cloakroom?
No,
no.
these are
Joe,
all you.
your part of the world, Indiana. Okay. Um,
Yeah, really? Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Represent.
So they're from Indiana. They're a type of music called shoegaze. Are you guys familiar with shoegaze?
No.
That's a
No.
new one on me.
Glad you guys invited me. Oh, I'm giving you a lesson on these things here. All right, shoegaze.
Yeah.
Shoegaze is like, it's kind of like a dreamy hardcore metal. They call it like doom metal. Okay.
Oh, okay. I am familiar with doom metal. Yeah, yeah.
I'm light on this stuff. I'm kind of new, but I came across this and I liked it. Download your Cloakroom. Great for long sessions. Great for nature workouts, right? The kind of like ephemeral sounds kind of like are good for like trail running or like mountain biking and such, right?
Yep.
One more I want to put in front of you. Have you guys heard of tapes and tapes?
Sorry, what's it called?
Tapes and tapes. Tapes and tapes.
Tapes and
Yeah.
tapes. No, these are all new to me. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. They're out of Minnesota, Minneapolis. They're an indie rock band. A little more upbeat. Singer has like a pretty cool, clear voice. A lot of different tempos to their songs. I like it for lifting weights. Just kind of the kind of like flow of the music, kind of just lines up with weightlifting for some reason. Those are my 3 picks. You guys should check those dudes out, though.
Absolutely will.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for adding that.
Was out.
Yeah. But then I got 2 recommendations from my athletes. Can I share these with you?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
And maybe you guys heard of this, but Stewart is a coach. Shout out Stewart of Shine Collaborative in Oceanside, California. He said to listen to Sama Abdul Hadi. The album's called Boiler Room. And, she's a Palestinian techno DJ. Great rhythms, great techno beats. Now, I'm not a big techno person, but I put her on, and it's not like, hits you over the head kind of techno that just kind of like beat, drives you crazy. It almost makes you want to dance. You might stop running and start dancing. It's really good.
I like that.
My athlete Ryan, who happens to be a DJ, shout out Ryan in Santa Rosa. He recommended, oh God, what was the name? Steve. Oh, I'll get you the name later. I forgot to write it down. Steve Martin. Anyway, that's pretty silly of me. I'll get you the guys that name later, but
yeah.
A little bit of techno vibe there.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Okay. That dude. Yeah, I have to agree. That dude is good.
Good call.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can't wait. This only furthers like why I love this podcast. It's like I'm gonna get 3 or 4 things I've never even heard of. So that's super rad.
Before I turn it over to you Joe, to talk about what's in your earbuds, I do want to ask you this question, Adam, because this came up with a conversation Joe and I had a couple episodes ago. So I don't know if you've heard of the band KMFDM.
I feel like I've heard of them, but I couldn't tell you a song.
They're like Megalomaniacs, one of them. They're like a German electronic like metal band. And I gave this to Joe, and one day he's like, I was listening to KMFDM, but while mowing my lawn. I have to ask you, like, do you have a song that you get into a vibe with where you're just like, I'm doing chores or something like that, or something usually pretty unique?
Yeah. My music palette is pretty wide. It could go from like cumbia to like salsa music one day to like metal or punk or something like that to like grunge. So I'll tell you what is in my earbuds a lot these days, and it's kind of mellow music, but I really like bands like Wilco and Kurt Vile. So that's kind of like mellow stuff, but I think one of the weird things about me is that I can work out hard to mellow music. I don't know if you guys get that way, but yeah. I don't know why. If I go too hard on the music, I feel like I can burn out. You know what I mean? And kind of like my mood just kind of gets a little too too high. It's almost like running a sprint, and then you're just kind of like you need. So yeah, I've grown adept to like working out to like kind of mellower music, but
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. I kind of like balancing the vibes of music because if my music is too upbeat and too tempo, I'll burn myself out. But if I like mix up like melancholic music with like really energetic music, I feel like it like manages the emotions really well. And but I mean, my I have an erratic playlist. I mean, my playlist at my race last week was like literally back to back songs from Panic at the Disco, followed by Barbie Girl. So I mean,
okay.
you're looking at the most chaotic.
Yeah.
List.
All right. So that Barbie Girl. Okay. Now I want to like ask you, like, no shame in having these songs in your playlist, right? Like,
No, not at all.
because they're on mine. So I just wanted to, I'm glad you mentioned that first. But yeah, I have a lot of those kind of like 90s, 2000s club hits. Yeah, some Venga Boys. I have crazy.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whatever works though. So what are the titles of your guys' playlist, by the way? Like, do you just have the artist and you search the artist, or do you have one that's called like workout? Like, how do you organize your music?
Mine is called Mishmash Hodgepodge.
Mine is I've got one playlist called Dad Rock Jammy Jams.
Jams, I love it.
I have a playlist called Shit Goes Hard.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing that one.
Yeah, it's got just like the most obnoxious like trap music and like hardcore gangster music. Like my son helped me put together. There's like just a bunch of random like screaming doom like rap on there, but it just goes so hard. And then sometimes I'll make like an ultra specific, like for the Momofo, I created like this Momofo playlist of like dark and like dreary like bluegrass music. So yeah, mine will be all over. Mine will be all over the board too, just like yours. Both of yours, yeah. Yeah, I'll share up Shit Goes Hard with you guys. It's pretty good.
Please do.
Please share that bluegrassy music you said. You said it was like doom bluegrass. It sounds amazing.
Yeah. There's like a lot of like Sean James and Shapeshifters, and like I'll have some like Tyler Childers just to kind of like bring it back up a little bit. Some Sturgill Simpson. I think we both like Sturgill Simpson and Tyler, if I remember.
Oh, I love him. I'm a fan. Yeah. You know what I've been into? I don't know if you guys are a fan, but like Bad Bunny, he's got some good beats. I went to his show. He came to San Francisco like a few months ago, and it was like an incredible show. So,
yo, Puerto Rico.
Yeah. My daughter, big fan. So sometimes we like, our kids' taste. They kind of just like becomes our music sometimes.
Yeah. I gotta ask you guys, like, this revelation sort of happened to me leading up to this race and during this race, but there are some songs that weren't necessarily songs that I listened to. They were like hit songs from when I was in high school, which is like 2010s, like late 2000s, like Adele and like Rolling in the Deep being one of them. There's a lot of good Taylor Swift stuff. And I have to ask you, like, do you have a greater appreciation for songs that maybe didn't hit you as much back then, but now you go back to it, like, and you're like, man, this hits really hard. Like, this is a song of my, like, back in the days. Like, I mean, there's, when I was doing the race, a lot of Backstreet Boys came up. And sing bands I wouldn't typically listen to as a guy who was more into like hardcore hip hop and like metal, and now I'm like, man, like everybody, like party, So I had to ask you that question.
100%. I think like something about it like takes you back to a place in time when you were younger and like maybe I don't know, it's just like all had less responsibilities or something. But definitely. I wasn't even a Backstreet Boys fan, and actually that song came on, and it put me in like high school as well. And my daughter actually got obsessed with that song recently, so it's been playing maybe a little too much in the house, but yeah, yeah. No, I'm open. Like you know, songs that I heard as a youth that didn't really like, if they come on, like you know, just makes me feel like a kid again, I guess. So, yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah. What about you, Joe?
Yeah. So, and this is because of the documentary that I watched, but I never gave. First, I have to shout out my daughter added some songs to the playlist, and I
Oh, is that
promised I would.
Natalie Harden?
So yeah, I promised Natalie, my daughter Natalie, that I would shout her out. She did add the song "Bubblegum Bitch" by Marina. It is a very good song.
I gotta listen to that.
Yeah, it's really good. But you were talking about songs that you wouldn't normally listen to that have like struck you different with age. As you get older, like it kind of reminds you of something. And I never gave any credit to Lady Gaga until I watched this documentary about her. And legit, like super talented. I don't know why I never gave Lady Gaga any kind of chance before. But like
yeah,
understanding more about her, it's like wow, okay, like I can just appreciate a little bit different, and like the show that is like her concerts too. Just
yeah.
want to throw that out there, but
She she's amazing. I mean, her voice is amazing. I love her like collaboration she did with Tony Bennett. Uh,
Yeah.
I love that she's like just really about her music. Like it's you know, it seems like some like kind of pop star type musicians, they're either more pop or they're more into their music, and like she definitely, I feel like puts her focus in her music a lot more. She does these like collaborations that really don't get widely released to the public. um she has that song, Alejandro. You ever heard that one?
Hmm.
That one's got a cool little beat. I'm a fan of that one. Give that one a listen when we're done with the show. It'll
yeah.
You're gonna have to add that one to the playlist.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Joe, I see that Natalie's a fan of Radiohead too. I love that.
Oh, yeah. I accidentally almost hit play on that. Yeah, so I've made it my mission to expose my kids to as much of my music as I can. I didn't stick with my son; he's got his own taste, and his taste is really really good because he'll throw me some rap and stuff that I would never even hear about. But my daughter basically is just probably just behind me on wearing the flannel because so she threw in some Radiohead, which really it honestly made me very happy that she did that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she threw on some radio. One of my favorite Radiohead songs too, "High and Dry." But
Wait,
so that,
you want to? That song makes me cry every time. It's
oh
like
man,
That's a
radio.
good.
His voice is just so powerful in them.
yeah,
Yeah, um, yeah,
Yeah,
Good-
songs that make you cry is definitely a genre for sure. I love that in this playlist you have everything from Boys in the Hood to High and Dry to I see Mission Impossible theme and Ghostbusters theme in there now.
oh yeah.
yeah,
So
Shaping up nice.
Mission Impossible theme. Shout out to Nick Lyman. He sent me that for soundtrack suggestions, and
Comrade
then
Lyman.
yeah, Conrad. Shout out to my buddy Conrad. And then that, for some reason, made me go down a weird rabbit hole, and that's where the Ghostbusters thing came from. Because that soundtrack is good all the way through.
Oh, good.
If you ever need a good soundtrack to visit.
So good. Yeah, that's a good soundtrack. Now I'm just hearing it in my head. It's going to be stuck in my head the rest of the day. And probably your guys' heads. But I got an interesting quick story for you guys. They changed. So I did the Bigfoot 200-mile endurance run last week,
yeah,
and they changed the course because of a fire to the back 50 miles of the course, and the race director lovingly refers to that backside of the course as the dark side of the moon because it literally feels desolate and remote back there, and you're just in the tree canopy. But funniest coincidence ever, we come to this Airbnb cabin, and they have like one of those old like music players, where you, like I mean, going back to like the days when I used to have like CDs and stuff, a couple of CDs here and there. So now I haven't seen a CD player in a long time. I go to the shelf and there's all these old albums. You would not believe the first album I see on the shelf. It's Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh wow!
I was like, "Oh my god." So while we were getting ready for the race, we put on the entire Dark Side of the Moon album, and I was like, "That album is a vibe." It's kind of, I would say it was ahead of its time too.
Oh yeah.
So like, are you when you listen to an album like that, does it just kind of like stay in your head as you go run or work out? Like sometimes like I don't even need like anything in my ears, right? It's in my head. Like I find that especially in the pool. I don't know, something about like I don't know, the water, just the rhythm of it, but I don't even need like really an iPod or my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Yeah.
there were a couple of songs from that album that got stuck in my head. There was a lot of, obviously one of my favorite bands is Clearwater Creedence Revival, CCR, and
Oh,
I noticed that they've had a surge of popularity on Spotify. But have you ever seen "The Rain" always get stuck in my head? And uh, was it "Bad Moon Rising"?
Mm. Yeah.
Both those songs always get stuck in my head. I don't even have to have it in my
Right.
earbuds for it to get stuck in my head.
Yep.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think I shared this with but I did a race a while back, and they played "For Those About to Rock" by AC/DC, and that was like on repeat in my head without even having earbuds, like almost the whole race. Like it just like carried me through the whole thing.
yeah. Yeah. What's like the most you guys have ever listened to a song without getting sick of it? Like,
Oh, recently, oh man, it's hard to remember, but I'd say recently, "Top of the World" by Imagine Dragons. Every time I had a high during a race, I'm like,
yeah,
this song is just a vibe. And
yeah.
then, oh, West End Girls, duh. I mean, Joe, you kind of had a recent experience with that with Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now."
Oh yeah, yeah. That thing just kept. It just kept. Like I would go through like ebbs and flows of like turning my earbuds back on uh, for my last 24-hour thing I did. And it was just like boom. It was like the first thing that always popped up. So yeah, and it like treated me different every time it would come back on that rotation. I probably need to take a break from listening to it for a little bit.
Well, Adam, the more he tells that story, the more I laugh because there's a different nuance to it each time. When you mentioned that there were like
Yeah,
people in costumes running around, and he's
yeah,
like, it's like 2 in the morning, he's listening to that song.
Yeah.
It just gets funnier
yeah.
and funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
guess I should tell you, Adam. Like there would be like someone with like dressed as like a UFO run past me, or like a pickle, or like a Bigfoot would walk out in front of me, or legit there was bats that were swooping at your headlamps. That wasn't part of the fun of the course. That was like actual bats
Uh,
swooping
You
at
know
a
that.
headlamp. But
was this in? You're in Indiana, right? Or
yeah,
yeah, was this there, in Indiana,
this
or
this was in Dixon, Illinois, at the Pynton Mind Games 24 hour. It
okay?
was cool. It was super rad.
I got it. Trail run with you guys. This like I don't know, like you're on the trail so long. I'm sure like music is like as important as like nutrition, food. Like I don't know, like that's if you didn't have it, it just seems to be a lot of time to yourself. You know?
It's literally the gateway to your soul. I got the coolest thing happen to me during a race. There were a couple of times when I played the obvious classic by, "Don't Stop Believing." Um, I played that one, and it's an out and back course. So there's a couple times where I was belting that song with my pacer, and the person passing by immediately latched onto the lyrics and started singing too. And it was like really just, it reminded me again. It made me smile because it reminded me again of that Cat Empire lyric where it's like music is literally a gateway to your soul. And I'm like, I'm connecting with this total stranger at this race over music lyrics. And the guy
Um,
didn't even know me. And we're both singing like just a small town girl, you know?
Oh yeah.
So good.
I love that. Um, Reminds me of like when you go to like a baseball game. I don't know who sings that song you just sang. It's a Small Town Girl, but like
I think it's Journey.
when
Yeah.
Journey, yeah.
Journey's really big here in the Bay Area. I think I don't know. Are they from here? Maybe I don't know. I feel like they're from here. But when you get a stadium of like I don't know, like 15,000 people all singing something at the same time, it's like
Ah,
pretty sweet. You know, um, makes me miss shows. I didn't go to any shows this summer. I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm really bummed. Summer's already done, boys. I don't know. I'm pretty bummed about
Yeah.
that. I didn't. Yeah, no shows for me. But did you guys get to go out and see anyone?
No, no, not this time.
No.
I felt like the endurance events were the shows, just listening to
Yeah.
these athletes
Yeah,
just sing their guts off, man. It was so good. But I have to ask you that question, going back to your question, do you have any songs that just get stuck in your head that just repeat over and over? Like you mentioned during a swim, or like
yeah,
bike.
yeah. Okay, funny story. So you guys have all seen the Nirvana album with the baby, right?
Yeah.
So when I swim, that baby's in the water. When I swim, the album that comes up, head. So I don't know, like how many bars is like on repeat in my head, and I don't know. I have no control of my, but you know, but I've listened to Nirvana ad nauseum. Like it's kind of been that way for 41 years, really.
I love it.
I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, um, yeah, but yeah.
That's a good one. Have you heard the Cat Empire song? I know I just mentioned it with music is a gateway to your soul. It's called How to Explain.
No, I haven't.
That song is a enigma in the sense that we have no idea who submitted that song to this day. But not, it's it's not something I would typically listen to, but when I put it
Right.
on, I was like, man, this is really good. It's called How to Explain by the Cat Empire.
Okay.
It's a real good one.
Phenomenal. Like I would never like same like what just said. I would never pick that genre ever. Like it wouldn't have occurred to me. But I'm
Yeah.
just like, damn, this song is so good, and the lyrics are just like, yeah. So yeah, I can send you this. It's on the playlist too, but I can send you that song. It's oh
Yeah.
man, when you
Please do.
need it, you need it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah. I'm just so open to new music right now. It's like I feel like if you get too confined to a certain box, like, missing out on so much, right? Um, yeah. But like for me growing up, it was like there's a steady period there where it was just like punk rock and like alternative rock, um, and like some like hip hop, right? But like there's just nowadays I feel like pop music is actually like really cool. It's not like super cheesy like it always had to be. It's like actually like there's a lot of fusion stuff out there with pop and then like a little bit of alternative or pop country, pop.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, it's there's a lot of music out there, but you got to kind of go hunting and pecking for it, right? I feel gone on. MTV's not a thing anymore. You guys grew up with MTV. I did.
yeah,
Um, Miss it. That old original platform where it was just like music videos and on repeat was just like brilliant. And then they went corporate and started showing like terrible like real world episodes that season. I definitely miss that
Miss
'90s.
yeah.
that. I miss that era. If it wasn't for MTV and MTV music videos, I wouldn't have discovered my favorite band of all time, Linkin Park.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I saw, obviously I saw In the End on there on MTV, and I was like, I gotta get this album, man. And
oh
Hybrid Theory became my favorite album of all time.
Oh, that made me think of something, Adam. Do you remember the first time? So MTV era. Do you remember the first time you saw the "Smells Like Teen Spirit" video on MTV? Yeah, that
oh
was
man.
so good. It changed my whole life. I was just like, "What? Like, what is this?"
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, I remember like going out to like not Fredericks of Hollywood or one of those like stores where they sold like Vans or whatever, and I tried to look for a sweatshirt like Kurt had in that video, stripes.
Dude,
And
same.
yeah, this is I might be like too much of a fanboy now, but I also bought like a cardigan that he wore at the Unplugged. It was kind of like a brownish green one. You remember?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
expect like I'm crazy like that, but I bought that one too. But yeah, that video just brought it right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might go listen to that song right after this when I go on a quick walk, like I'm gonna
yeah,
put that one on repeat for a bit. But Man, this has been an awesome episode with you, Adam. And you guys can find Adam just doing his thing at Lucid Motion Fitness on Instagram. This is definitely not going to be the last time we have Adam on the show because
Yeah.
and he's already given us some great new recommendations. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
been awesome having you on the show, man.
Oh, thanks, Drew. I'm glad I finally got to make it. And yeah, I could honestly keep going for hours with this stuff, but yeah, we'll have to run it back. Thanks for bringing me on today.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Adam. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. And for more episodes of the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network, we got Running Tales episode 6 with you guys. For you guys tomorrow morning, it's evening time for our UK Everyday Athletes, and then in the evening we got our regular fireside chats. There's content pretty much every single day, and this will come out Friday on podcast format. So there's always something for everybody on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. But yeah, it's been awesome, Adam. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Absolutely, boys. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, guys. Happy earbuds. We gotta figure
Yeah.
that one
We'll
out.
have to figure out how to close that out.
Happy strumming or